So we've got a few questions from a few of our viewers. There's only 3 of them. 3 questions, not 3 viewers. We do much better than that.
Yeah.
So the first one is from a Sheffield Wednesday fan, Tom. He said, what was it like playing in the Steel City derby, particularly the one at Hillsborough?
Oh, mesmerising. The noise that is created in a Steel City derby is far surpasses anything you envisage or you dream of. Obviously, the away game we drew 2-2. We looked 2-0 down and drew 2-2, and we only had one end of the ground, and it felt like a home game at the end of that game because the noise that our fans were making. And obviously, the home game, 1-0. Gary Megson's final game with us, just electric, and it's just for me extra bit because obviously I'm a Sheffield Wednesday fan, so it was just incredible. The environment that you go into and play in is just magnificent. It's to be fair, you have parallels with the Hibs Hearts derby because it's all people want to talk about. 2 or 3 weeks before, that's all they talk about. This game. This is the most important. And when you wander around Sheffield, like I did when I was there, people, they wish you all the best, but you're no uncertain terms. If you don't win that game, they won't talk to you again. So no, it was a special occasion for me as a fan, but I think it was a special occasion for the club as a whole because it was immense.
Just off the back of that, you mentioned it was Gary Megson's last game. Was there rumours swirling around? Did you know that he was going to go? Or
no, I think there's always rumours about this and that and whatnot, but there was rumours, but there was never anything concrete. But obviously found out on the Wednesday.
Question from Doncaster fan James. How well did the team do to get over the line in 2012-13, especially after Dean Saunders left for Wolves? And what was Brian Flynn like to work with?
No, the team were fantastic. They all had the same common goal, which is helpful from a coach's point of view, a manager's point of view. They're all desperate to get back into the Championship at any cost. So the focus from not just a couple of individuals, but the whole group was fixed on that main aim and that main target, which makes it so much easier. I think a lot of people had been told that they weren't good enough playing the Championship, or you can't do this, you can't do that, and I think it was a bit of a 2 fingers up to most people, which drove a lot of the group on. But we had that group that year was so harmonious. It was incredible. Not a bad one amongst them. Did exactly what you asked them to do. Worked extremely hard, and I think probably epitomises the footballer that gets his rewards, because that group that year just did everything correctly, everything the right way, and everything in the right manner. The atmosphere in the dressing room was fantastic. The atmosphere on the pitch was incredible. There was a never say die attitude. I said earlier that we'd scored so many late goals to win games or clinch a point that got us on our way. That year was a special year and part of a special dressing room.
And final question from the viewer is: do you remember a last-minute header away at Stevenage in the promotion campaign? It is my favourite ever Doncaster away header.
Yeah, that was my first game in player manager charge. We went 1-0 up, then they'd scored, and then somehow the ball just cuts across the ball from a corner in front of our fans, and then that big long neck and that bald head managed to get on the end of that ball and put it in the net, and that was it. And I think that settled us all down because that was the first game in charge after Dean had left. So I think that was what probably cemented us as a group to say, the gaffer's gone, he's moving on to pastures new, but there's more than enough in this dressing room to take us where we want to go.
So the first question covered this enough. Who did you support growing up? But if you don't mind me asking, how do you be a Wednesday fan when you're from up here? If you don't mind me asking.
All my mum's family are from Bridlington, which is probably about 45 minutes from Sheffield.
Right.
All my mum's family are Sheffield Wednesday fans. So from a very young age, going spending holidays and weekends down there, I was taking the Sheffield Wednesday games, and as you well know, the first game you go to, you just hit by the bug, and that's it. And David Hurst was my hero. He was my hero as a kid. So I was just addicted to Sheffield Wednesday.
Right, so move on to the next one. It's the best player that you've played with.
No, there's a couple. I think for longevity, probably longevity, James Coppinger. Incredible professional, 40 plus, still playing football. Scored only last weekend. For raw ability and talent, Scott Brown, who's at Celtic captain. He just does absolutely everything, as the modern midfield would like. Obviously, his game's changed now because he's getting on a little bit. But when I was at Hibs with him, oh wow, everything. Score a goal. He could run 70 yards. He could tackle a brick wall. He could head it. He could fight it. Could zing a ball. He could then defend his own box. He was immense. He was outstanding. And then probably the best striker, Stephen Fletcher. The finishing ability with him was an absolute joke.
Right, I think I know what you're going to say for this, but I'm going to tweak the question a little bit. Best player you've played against in a league game or a competitive game?
Competitive game. See, I now have to go back into to my realms of trying to find players because I don't take any notice of who I play against. And I got asked this question the other day. John Carew was one of them. He was at West Ham. Was it West Ham? Yeah, he was at West Ham. We beat them in the cup when I was at Sheffield Wednesday. The big Dutch guy. So, Carlos Tevez, Robinho, Louis Saha. There's a few in there.
But obviously, it really is messy, isn't it? If you just counting every game.
No, the question got manipulated, I think. No, there's a few in there. Carlos Tevez was fantastic. Robinho was fantastic. There's a few in there which you look at and you look back and you think, bloody hell, you're on the same pitch as those people.
That's the second time Carlos Tevez has been picked in a week. So that's the next question. Is the manager who give you the biggest telling off, and what was it for?
Gary Megson. Funnily enough, it was Stevenage away for Sheffield Wednesday. And we were losing, I think we were losing 1-0 at half time. And me and Prutz, my buddy, Prutz, my roommate, we were having a massive slanging match in the tunnel on the way down and in the dressing room. And he came in and he destroyed the pair of us and he subbed us both at half time. Yeah. So,
do you know what? That's not the first time Gary Megson's come up for that question as well.
I loved him. He's very in your face. He's very to the point, which was fantastic for me. But yeah, that was probably the only time really a manager's had a go at me, because normally I have a go back or don't really give him the reason to have a go in the first place. But that was it. Yeah. He destroyed me and puts in that halftime team talk. I don't think an awful lot was said to anybody else. It was just, you two, get your kit on, off, get in the shower, get changed, because you're not going back on.
So I'm gonna say your two, because I'm presuming one of them is definitely going to be Hillsborough, but your two favourite stadiums that you've played at?
Atmosphere-wise, well, Hillsborough is far and above anything else. Playing there as a boyhood hero, boyhood player is just crazy. Hampden in the cup final was special. European Cup games at Easter Road, special again. Celtic Park on a Saturday afternoon with 62,000 there was just crazy. And I think the old part of Ibrox, when it's all wooden panels and whatnot, that Ibrox is a throwback, but again steeped in so much history. So I'm sorry I didn't give you two. I'll give you about 5 or 6. But
yeah, that's fine. More the merrier.
So who was your best friend in football?
I still speak to Cops. I still speak to Prutz. John McDermott, who again played for Grimsby. I think he did 850 games, and he's from our neck of woods as well. He's from Berwick Hills, so I still speak to him. But in the football world, friendships change and move on and transfer, because not often do you stay in the same dressing room for an awful long time, and you see you keep touch, but you don't really. You have a little chatter, and every now and again, and you don't speak to each other for 2 or 3 years because you both move on different paths. So for me, there's probably a small clumber. Ross Turnbull, obviously I speak to Ross all the time because he's local as well. He was at Doncaster with me, but no, there's no one really that stands out. I think I have a good handful of good friends from the footballing world. I have a massive handful of friends from the footballing world, but I was quite a closed book when I was a player. I was focused on what I wanted, and I was so intense. And I think sometimes that got construed as he didn't really want to talk to me, or didn't really want to say anything, which was to the contrary. Really, I was just making sure that my career lasted as long as I could eventually make it.
So we're kind of moving away from football now. What is the last movie that you watched?
Oh, I watched one with my son a few weeks ago, and it was horrific. Twist. I watched.
I've never heard of it.
It's an adaptation of Oliver Twist, but an updated version with.
It's not my cup of tea. That's I can't say I've watched it or heard of it.
Yeah, with Rita Ora.
All right, okay, maybe I could watch it actually.
Yeah, well, that's the reason me and my son watched it. But it was awesome. It was awesome.
Not recommending it then.
No.
Right. Next one is your favourite holiday destination.
I love going to Devon. We've been there the last 2 or 3 years. We have a place there. We go paddleboarding and snorkeling and see the seals and all that sort of stuff. So no, such a beautiful part of this country.
What was your strongest subject at school?
PE. I only ever went to school when I had PE, or I had a sports game at the end of the day. So whether it was rugby, athletics, football, whatever, basketball it was, if I had something at school that day and it had PE in it, I'd go to school.
And who's your favourite music artist or band?
I like anything indie, so I like Fratellis, Kooks, that sort of it. I think it was probably Coldplay was probably the main one when I was growing up. That was probably the main bit, and yeah, that sort of stuff. So I haven't really got one group or soloist that I listen to. I think it's just more of a genre.
Did you get into the Proclaimers whilst you're up in Scotland? They're big Hibs fans, aren't they?
Yes, we went to a show in Edinburgh. Took my wife, all played, took their girlfriends and wives, and it was fantastic. Such an iconic style of music. Obviously, the songs got sung after the game in the cup final. Song gets sung every time they beat Hearts. So no, ardent Hibs fans, and yeah, a fitting way to end any football match, really.
Right. So if you're hosting a dinner party, you can invite 3 people. Don't have to be anything to do with football. 3 people who are dead or alive. Who are you inviting?
Well, Pep Guardiola is a nailed on, absolute nailed on. Halle Berry, for obvious reasons.
Halle Berry. Who's Halle Berry?
Oh, come on.
Am I being daft?
That's poor Alf.
Who is she?
You can Google it.
I'll have a look after.
How many did you say? 4 or 2?
3.
3. One more. Muhammad Ali.
That interesting
choice. He comes
choice.
up quite a lot in this question. Pep, Halle Berry, and Muhammad Ali. That is some dinner party. What is the funniest football story that you can share?
Funniest. Oh, we had a goalkeeping coach called Lee Butler. All right, who's now the goalkeeping coach at Sunderland. It was the loveliest man you'll ever come across in your whole entire life. But his party trick was making himself fall over as if it was an accident. So I think it was before the Brentford game. We'd stayed at a really plush hotel. I think there was a wedding going on at that moment. I think the bride was actually coming through the main reception. And he, for some reason, we were going for our morning walk. He, for some reason, thought it was an ideal opportunity to do his party trick right in front of the bride, in front of the bride's father and family and all guests and receptionists and all the players. And he tripped himself over the stool in reception, flat out on the floor. The boys were absolutely howling with laughter. This poor lady was about to get married, and she's had to encompass this craziness from the football team. So that's probably one I can tell you.
Oh no, that is brilliant. That.
Question 1, Rob. Your final game for Stockport County was a 3-2 defeat at Edgeley Park against Barnsley. But which current EFL manager scored the winner for Barnsley that afternoon?
Oh, you're going back a long way here.
I know. They're never easy. They're never easy, these quizzes.
Oh, not a clue.
I'll give you a clue. He's a championship manager.
Still none the wiser.
It was Alex Neil.
Ah, didn't know that.
Yeah. So, question number 2. You played one game for Macclesfield Town on loan. Who was it against?
Oh.
Yeah, correct.
Question number 3. In 2005, your Grimsby Town side managed a memorable win in the League Cup against Tottenham Hotspur. But who was manager of Spurs in this game?
Christian Gross.
No, it was Martin Yol.
Question number 4 is who scored the only goal in that game?
John Paul Caladimba.
Correct.
In the same season, a 2-1 win in the playoff semi-final second leg against local rivals Lincoln City sealed the place in the final. However, which Grimsby player was dismissed in added time but had his red card rescinded?
Well, I'd come off with a smashed face after about half an hour. So I was in my own little world. Have a look. I'll go for Paul Bolland.
No, it was Gary Jones.
Oh, centre forward.
Question number 6. Can you name 3 of the 4 teams that your Hibs side beat on the way to the 2006-7 Scottish League Cup final in which you beat Kilmarnock 5-1? And it's a half a point for each.
Gretna, Hearts, St Johnstone.
Yeah, that's the full point.
The other one you could have had was Peterhead. In 07-08, your Hibs side beat City rivals Heart Midlothian 1-0 at Tynecastle on the opening day of the season. Who scored the only goal of this game?
And what year was that?
07-08, first day of the season.
I'm going to go with Benjaloon.
It was Brian Kerr.
Ah.
That's question number 8. Who scored a brace as your Scunthorpe side memorably beat eventual league winners Newcastle United at Glanford Park in the 2009-10 championship season?
It was one of 2. I want to go with Hooper. But I think it's the other one.
It was Martin Wolford.
Yeah.
On the final day of the 11-12 season, Sheffield Wednesday sealed an automatic promotion from League One to the Championship. You were on the bench, but which 2 players scored for Wednesday in this game? And you get half a point for each.
I'll go for Chris O'Grady. And I'll go for... I forget his name. He's at West Ham at the moment. What's his name?
Well, we'll give you that because it is Mikel Antonio.
Yeah.
Mikel Antonio, but we'll give you that because, that's pretty much right.
That'd be nice.
But the other one was a bit of a character, Niall Ranger.
Ah, forgot he was there.
Right, last question, number 10. Doncaster dramatically sealed the promotion on the final day of the 2012-13 season. However, who held Bournemouth to a draw on the final day, meaning that James Coppinger's late goal also sealed the title as well as promotion?
Tranmere.
Correct.
Yeah,
it's not bad going though, yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah, there are people who do worse. I don't mean to make them easy, to be fair.
No, to be fair, halfway from a 20-year career, I'd take that.
I think it puts you about mid-table.